Hey guys, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. Once again, back at you Tuesday at 7 o'clock, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Glad you can join us. I know I hear a lot that when I start talking, um, people catch me mid conversation, so I'm going to wait till a few people join or come on in the chat. Tell me, uh, give me a thumbs up or a yeah or something like that in the chat to let me know that you guys are here with me, okay? Because I've been hearing a lot that when people jump on in the beginning at 7 o'clock, that I'm already talking and they miss the beginning. So I'm gonna kind of hang out a little bit and wait till people come on in and we could jump into the topic. Calibrate Tools is sponsored by Calibrate.com. You see it right there. Where let me get it right there. Calibrate.com on the lower left of your screen. Hey, Perry Girl Life Notes, how you doing? Glad you could join us once again. Um, just waiting for everybody to come in here, so I won't just ramble on and everybody misses what I had to say. So come on in the chat, guys. Calibrate.com sponsors this live, so please, check it out. Check out the website. We have some great products. Okay, and also don't forget to sign up for the newsletter so we can send you some great information, great tips and tricks for your home improvement endeavors and all that good stuff. Okay, so guys, let's jump right into it. Expose your kids to the trades. On this channel, we promote the trades heavily. I feel it's very important that the trades are something that our kids should be exposed to. To provide an alternate path in their life, career path, uh, aside from a formal college education that's going to put them in debt. And I always got to say, just a disclaimer, I don't knock college, but make sure you have a strategy if you're going to go to college. So when you get out, you can, that all those years that you spent there, it pays off in some form or fashion. Okay. One thing about the trades though, it pays off in months. It pays off in days, right? It pays off in days. And it doesn't take that long, and you're not going to go into debt like you would for a college degree. Okay, guys? So come on and chat, guys. Perry Good Life Notes has joined us. I love to converse with you guys. Leave some comments in the chat. Tell me what you think. Do you think we should expose our kids to the trades more? If you say no to that, I don't know what to think about you, and maybe you shouldn't be watching this channel, because I'm all about the trades. I'm all about tools, and that's what I feel is very important, especially to our kids today, especially to minority children in the United States, if you want to use that word minority, who face certain challenges when it comes to funding a formal education and all of that, right? And there's a lot of scholarships out there for college, but there's also a lot of scholarships to get a career in the trades as well, right? And having a career in the trades can be very lucrative, even more lucrative than some college degrees, but it's been frowned upon, and we all know why, right? Today, it's kind of, you know, people are waking up and seeing the value of having a career in the trades or having a skill, a trade skill, right? But for the last, I don't know, 30 years, a college education has been uh, pushed to the forefront and overshadowed the value of having trade skills, right? Because of, let's face it, capitalism, right? You go to college, you spend, I don't know, $40,000, $50,000, sometimes $100,000 on a degree that may serve you or may not, right? Um, and who's getting paid? The colleges are getting paid, the credit card companies are getting paid, and all of that. Yeah, Paragon Life No says it's imperative that you learn a trade or have some exposure to a trade skill when corporate America goes south, right? And I mean, just look at a lot of industries have went south, especially after during the pandemic, um, and even before that, in the real estate crash of 2008, um, a recession, right? And can cause you to lose that cushy corporate job that you coveted so much out the window. But when you have a trade skill, right, you can go out there and build a fence. You can go out there and build a house. You can go out there and repair somebody's uh, uh, structure or whatever, right? You can fix cars. You can make a living. You can make a living. In spite of all the economic downturns, people still need this stuff done, right? People need this stuff done. And, you can do very well. So I feel that, the kids today, they've been cheated, man. They've been cheated. They've been sold a bill of goods for the last 30 years. Right. And I feel it's my goal. It's my mission to kind of dispel the myths of the trades. You know what I mean? Very Good Life Note says trades help keep all countries going. Absolutely. Without without somebody to build the roads, without somebody to build the buildings that you go to work in, or to fix these things, right? Even the technology of today, without somebody to fix or program these things. And when I say trades, it doesn't necessarily mean you're swinging a hammer, right? It could also mean building the infrastructure, running the fiber optic cables, right? Building the network structure for an IT setup, right? All that stuff. Those are considered trades as well. Perry Gerlano says college degrees does not afford you a lot of liberty. Some way trades may be more physical, right? A lot of kids are better with visual and both hands-on. Absolutely, guys. There's the old saying, I'm sure a lot of people remember, hey, what am I going to use all this math I'm going to school for? Like, just in regular high school or junior high, you're learning math, of course, math and sciences. What am I going to use that for? What do I need that calculus equation for? What do I need that algebraic equation for? What do I need all that for? I don't need that. Well, you know what? In the trades, you need a lot of math, right? You need to know a lot of math in order to perform well in the trades, to do your job properly. And you get to exercise all those things you learn in high school that you thought you would never need. You learn a trade, you're going to definitely need them. Guaranteed, guys, guaranteed, okay? So I think it's of utmost importance that we at least expose. I'm not saying force your kids. I'm not saying that at all. Nobody's saying, hey, you got to force your kids into this, into that. But at least expose them to it, right? Because you may find that your kid is a natural, right? You may find that your kid loves it, like the kid behind me. You may love doing that. Look at the smile on his face, right? Because they're creating something, right? They're creating something from nothing, from a stack of raw materials. They're creating something. They're building something that they can look at later and say, hey, I did that. You know how much that does for a child's self-esteem? That's why it's great to, if you got kids, man, bring them into the back garage or something while you're building something, while you're fixing your cars. Give them a tool. Say, hey, do that for me. Let me see you do this. Teach them, coach them. Don't just let them watch. Bring them in and let them be a part of the process. You don't know how much that does for kids. And they get to bond with you at the same time. Put them in a woodworking class. Put them in a welding class. Put them in the list is endless. The list is endless. Today, I dropped off a trailer that's retrofitted to teach people how to weld. It's a 53-foot trailer, and it has 8 welding booths in it with machines and the whole 9 yards, fume extractor and all that. Took it to a high school today, dropped it off for the kids in that high school to get exposed, right? To get exposed to that, right? Because it may be a possible career path for them, right? So don't just tell them, hey, let's go join the what do they call it, flag football team, all that stuff. That's come on, guys. We got to do better. We got to do better than exposing our kids to sports and only sports, thinking that's the only route for them to take, when only maybe about 1 or 2% of them may make it into the pros or whatever, right? Give them something that they can thrive in, right? And let sports be something that's something that's extra, right? The problem we have today is that the parents, the parents are misguided. A lot of our parents are misguided, right? We're pushing our kids into sports and all this stuff that most of them are not even going to make a career out of it, right? Instead, we need to be teaching them hard skills right now when they're young. I'm saying start as early as possible, from the age of 2, from the age of 5, all the way up. And it doesn't have to be that, like I said, it doesn't have to be that they're swinging a hammer. Teach them how to program a computer, right? Teach them how to write code. That's all part of a trade as well, right? Yeah. All right, guys, what do you think? What do you think I'm talking about here? Do you think it's that I'm onto something here or not? So let's dive deeper, guys. Let's dive deeper into why um, your kid should be exposed to the trades. By the way, guys, don't forget to check out calibrate.com, okay? Don't forget to check out calibrate.com. Got some great products on there. This weekend, I was at a home and garden show, showcasing some of the products there at the booth. It was a nice show, I must admit. Haven't done it in a while, ever since the pandemic happened. But now that they're opening these things up more, they're having more shows, and it's good to go out there and showcase what you got going on. A lot of kids came up to the booth as well, and man, they love the tools. They love the tools, guys. All right, so let's see here. So yeah, guys, here's some of the ways children benefit. Your kids benefit from learning a trade. Okay, there's a wide range of experiences that will motivate them to learn. I mean, the ability to solve problems, okay, is one of the greatest skills that you could ever have in life. Problem solving ability. When you learn a trade, that's all you're going to be doing, solving problems, because you're going to run into hiccups all along the way, and it's going to force you to think critically how you can solve the problem. It's not in the book, right? Most of the time you're solving problems in the trades, it's not in the book. There's, I mean, you may learn about the theory, right? Or certain devices, certain tools, certain processes, but you will not learn how to solve problems, right? You only learn when you're getting out there and you have your hands in it and you run across a problem, because you can't anticipate everything, right? If something's going to go wrong, you're going to miscalculate something, you're not going to foresee something, and then you got to figure out, hey, how do I solve that problem? But it's very stimulating, and that's one of the best things that you can give your child, is to immerse them, right? Immerse them in those environments where it forces them to solve problems. Okay, it forces them to solve problems, and that's one of the greatest things that you can give them. Okay, it's definitely going to broaden their horizons. They may, I've seen it. I'm a welding instructor at a nonprofit, and I've seen people come fresh off of the streets, okay, knowing nothing about anything trade related, tool related, and once they're immersed, once they're exposed, they soar. Okay, they soar. They love it. Okay, they go on to start great careers at great companies, great places. If they want to go work for somebody, you always have the option to start your own thing. But working at a company is great exposure, and it's great. It's a great point to start. Experiencing the opportunities that they allow you. Okay, sometimes there's a trade-off. You can start your own enterprise, start a business, or you can go work for a company that can expose you to so many things. A lot of our students, they go on to work with like companies like SpaceX and stuff, being around rockets and aeronautical engineering and all that stuff, and they wouldn't be exposed to that if they started their own business, right? So it's a two-way street, right? So that's one of the great things about learning a trade. And this is all after maybe a month of training, right? Where you're sitting in your house, probably playing a video game. Now you're around you're around engineers, you're around rocket ships, all this stuff, right? I've seen it happen, guys, all after a month of training, guys. Okay, so let's see here. So the trades also expose children to their own talents that they didn't know they had, right? Their own talents and abilities. And once they tap into that, right? Once they tap into that, their confidence level skyrockets. It skyrockets. And when that happens, it's the possibilities are endless. I remember when I was a kid, I was always interested in tinkering with things and building things and studying physics and science and just reading, right? It's not like I went to classes for those things. I just like reading books about them and learn, exploring them, wondering how things work, and all that. And I got lost in that, right? It was something that just I like to do, even to this day. So, you know, when you expose your kids to this stuff, right, instead of just not exposing it to them, why wouldn't you expose it to them? So this live is more so for the parents than the kids, because kids don't know any better, right? They're only going to react to what's in their immediate environment. And if their immediate environment does not feed them feed them something that's going to help them to grow, right? It's if they're being fed a steady diet of sports, or something like that, or social media that doesn't educate them, then guess what's going to happen? By the time they get 18, if they haven't narrowed down what they want to do because they have not been exposed to these things, then they're going to be lost, right? They're going to be lost. So it's your job, our job as parents, to steer them in the right direction. It doesn't mean to force them in the direction that you want them to be in, but it does mean to expose them to certain things that will definitely help them in life, right? It will definitely help them maybe uh, cast an anchor out on what they really want to do, right? But if they're not exposed, then how would they know? How would they know? So I think it's very important, guys. Even if you got little kids right now, go buy them some toys. Go buy them some toys that like building block toys or something, a science experiment toys, things like that. Get them interested in things like that. Don't just buy them something that's like a football, unless you really know that your kid has athletic ability that you can really tell. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Having your kid, be exposed to sports and all that. But if that's all you're exposing your kids to, then that will be on your shoulders that kid did not, go in the right direction later in life, right? They should be exposed to a wide variety of possibilities to keep them engaged, because their minds are so fresh at that point, right? That it's like it's like a garden that's never been seeded, and all you have to do is give them the right things at that stage in life and watch them grow. When they're young, they learn so much quicker. I mean, think about it. A kid can pick up a foreign language quicker than you can at the age of maybe 20 or 15, right? You put something in their hands, you expose them to a career, that can really feed them in the future, that they can really excel at, and it's the same thing, because they're like sponges, right? So use that to your advantage if you have kids. All right. All right, guys. Come on in the chat, guys. We got Perry Girl Life Notes in here. Come on in and say hi. Support the channel. Show me that you're here. Calibrate.com. We're always here to educate you at all times on tools, trades, home improvement. And like tonight on our live, we're promoting trade skills. Once again, this is all we do. All right. Oh, okay. So yeah, once again, guys, we, where I am at the nonprofit that I am, we do provide job placement services, and that's if the person who comes through the program finishes the program completely and gets certified as a welder, right? In all the two processes. We have 4 processes that we teach in. We have stick, we have MIG, we have flux core, we have TIG. And all the kids that come through there, and I wouldn't say kids because they're really young adults, right? And young to older adults, they get exposed to all 4 welding processes, and they get certified in 2 of them, okay? And we do provide job placement services there, okay? It's called Reignite Hope. That's where it is, in Southern California, and that's the nonprofit there. But once again, guys, I've seen it with my own eyes. How a young person's life can change overnight if they're exposed to the right things. And I know a lot of kids, they come from backgrounds where it makes it kind of hard to focus and even finish a 1-month long program. but for the most part, they do finish. And with some guidance, right, and with some support, and even at times emotional support, depending on what situation that they're coming from, they're able to finish successfully, and that's one of the greatest accomplishments that I can boast about in my life at the moment, is to see these kids who come from, or young people, young men and women, come from various backgrounds, who have may have come from a troubled past, a tainted past, come through there and then just finish the program, stay focused, and now their life is on a whole different path. Bruno, hey Bruno, how you doing? I make my kid pass me the tools when I'm working on my car. I make her learn the names of the tools. Hey Bruno, that's a great thing, man. That's a great thing. She's gonna be great at it, man. She's gonna love you for that later. I'm telling you, she's gonna love you for that later. And I'll tell you one thing, man. Young ladies, I can only talk about welding, right? I don't know about any other trade, but I assume that it's the same with other trades as well. Women are in my last live, I talked about how women are so good at welding because they have that steady hand, they have natural abilities, they have innate characteristics about themselves that allow them to be great welders, right? And great with tools. It's the patience, it's the steady hand, it's the the ability to focus on details, and the ability to look for aesthetics and things, and make things look good. That's what makes them great at trades. Hey Claudette, how you doing? Good to see you here. I'm going to speak with my daughter and find a summer trade for her to get involved in. I know it will be a positive move and boost her confidence in many ways. Thank you for the idea, Dylan. Hey Claudette, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Yeah, she'll love that. Exposing her to something that she's never been exposed to before, and she may have innate, she may have natural, she may just be a natural, and she may love it. That's great. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We as parents need to expose our kids, right? We need to expose our kids. Slang, peace, my brother. What up? Hey, Slang, how you doing, sir? Glad you can make it. But like Claudette was saying, she's going to expose her daughter to something new, and that's going to stimulate her daughter's mind. And we should do that for all our kids, especially when they're young, right? We can get them at any age. Okay, don't get me wrong, but especially when they're younger, right? I mean, when I was younger, I didn't necessarily get exposed to all the things that I've been exposed to when I'm older, but I guarantee you, if I was, I would, who knows where I'd be right now. But it's no use looking back and saying this, that, and the other. My mission now is to do that for the masses, right? For as many people as I can, right? For as many kids as I can, no matter where you're from. All right, if there are any kids listening to this live right now, there are so many opportunities out there for you to be something great, right? To create things, right? Something you can be proud of, something the world that can respect you for, something you can respect yourself for, right? All right, guys. So yeah, Claudette, I applaud you for that. Thinking that way, because a lot of parents, they don't even think that way about their own daughters, right? They think their daughters should do girly things, whatever that is. And I get it. You don't want your, some people may not want their daughters to be all, dirty and stuff. And, but today you find women in all areas, all industries doing well and excellent, right? I mean, I've seen it in welding. I've seen it in trucking. I've seen it in so many trades where they're making six figures and more, right? 6 figures and more, starting their own companies, right? And all of that, becoming general contractors, right? Something you probably never seen maybe 40, 50, 70, 80 years ago, so the door's wide open, man. Glad you could make it here, Slang. What do you think about the topic? Do you think we should expose our kids to the trades? Tell us what you think, Slang. Yeah, so yeah, guys, I can't speak enough about about this. You know, I have to shout it from the rooftops because once again, I feel, you know, our kids have been misguided in the last 20, 30 years. They took a lot of these programs out of the schools. I don't know why. Well, I did say why. I know why, but it's been a travesty, especially the kids that really don't have a lot of resources. All right. But they can go to a trade school that doesn't cost as much. Some of them are free. They can find a nonprofit like the one I work at and change their life instantly, right? So don't think that they're stuck. Don't think they're stuck. If you have a child that's uh, acting up, or seems belligerent or something, maybe they just have a lot of energy that they need to channel in a different way, right? And a lot of times that's what it is. Their creativity is bottled up. It's stifled. They don't know what to do with it. So they go to the streets, they go to the this and that, and they join things that are not good for them, hang around people that are not going to take them anywhere. And there you go with that prison to pipeline thing, right? Which is in a lot of ways has been designed for certain individuals. Unfortunately, that's the system we live in, but I'm not going to go off on that tangent. But we can save them, right? We can save them. We can start by saving our own kids first, right? And I've always been one to talk to kids. I don't care whose kids they are, right? In the community, because I tend to see them as my kid as well. We need to take that. We need to take that mindset where we view the children in our immediate vicinity in our community as our kids as well, right? Because they need guidance. Because that one kid that doesn't seem to stay focused and is always getting in trouble, we ignore that kid, then that kid can end up affecting everybody else, right? So we really need to have that mindset and spread this news here, guys. Yeah. So let's see here. Let's see, guys. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm over here in Southern California. It was pretty hot over the weekend, but it was a pretty productive weekend. Like I said, I went to a home and garden show for Caliber 8 to show the weirs and educate, and it was pretty productive. So I hope you guys can say the same thing about your weekend. Yeah, so let's look at this article I'm reading here. I'll just jump around the article. Let me see. It was written by a lady by the name of Casey Cronus, just to give her some credit there. All right. At Milwaukee Tool, hundreds of Waukesha County students were building a foundation for careers in construction. In the recession times, a lot of people left the construction industry. We didn't have a lot of people coming back and filling that, said Travis Schreiber, Kids Building Wisconsin president. In an effort to fight the skilled worker shortage, Kids Building Wisconsin was born. Okay, so this guy, he noticed the shortage of skilled trade workers, right? And he decided to do something about it. Let's see what he did about it. We see a need to get kids exposed and see all the awesome careers in construction, Schreiber said. On Thursday, more than 800 middle school students explored what they can be when they grow up. And that's a very important point, guys. Like I was saying before, if kids only go as far as their dreams and what they're exposed to, right? You can only go far as your dreams. And a lot of times your dreams come from what you're exposed to. If you're not exposed to certain things, you're only going to dream so big. And that's the problem right there. And I think, and I know for sure, if you as a parent, if your dreams are not big, you're not going to be able to show your kids how to dream big. So, I can talk about kids all day long on what they should do, but kids model the parents, right? They look at us and they say, "Oh, daddy he does that, so maybe that's what I can be." Mommy does that, so that's what I'm going to aspire to be. Well, that tells you right there, guys, that it's up to us as parents to model for our kids big dreams. Okay. Even if you're not living that, you need to speak it around your kids. You need to tell them, hey, You can dream, you can do this, you can do that. You should go check that out. And take time out of your day, take time out of your life to, you know, bring your kids around these things that are going to really excite them, right? Make them think, oh, look at that, look at that. That's very, very important. Okay. I want to be a builder, said Ed Miller, Waukesha STEM Academy fifth grader, because I have freedom to build whatever I want. Okay. Now, when your kid is talking like that means you're doing something right. If they're not talking like that about their future and about themselves, then there's some work to do. So it said this nonprofit was formed 6 years ago in Madison, but the expo marked its first event in Waukesha County. There, some students repaired air ducts. Imagine that. You got students repairing air ducts, fifth graders, being exposed to that career, a very lucrative career, repairing air ducts. This is stuff that needs to be done. Robots can't do it right now. We had to align the holes together, put in the bolt, and finally we had to put a clamp on the top, Miller said. That's the fifth grader. All right, doing what the pros do. Or practiced a mock demolition while others took a dive into virtual reality. Guys, that's what kids are getting exposed to these days. Your kid should be a part of that, okay? Because that's where the world is going. Matter of fact, my next long form video that I put out, at least I'm going to work on it, is going to show you how in the welding industry, they have virtual welding classes now, guys, where you can put on a goggles or you can put on a mask with a screen, and it's like playing a video game, but you're learning how to weld. Very interesting. So, guys, look for that video, okay? It's coming up. I mean, this is the future of the trades, and we're so passionate about the trade. They are laying the groundwork for our kids to not only learn about new opportunities, but try them out too. Guys, this is what we should be doing. Okay, so if I were you guys, I'd look in my community, I'd look around, do the research, and see if there's any programs out there that can expose your kids to trades. Hold on, guys. Excuse me. So yeah, guys, like I said, I can't speak enough about the opportunities out there. Claudette says, I'm glad you had a great and productive weekend. Well, thank you, Claudette. I appreciate that. I try to make it productive, every day. At my stage in life, I can't afford to be just sitting around. So I got things to do, right? I got a mission to accomplish. And we all should have a mission in life, especially if we have kids. Because when your kids see that you're on a mission, it does something for them. It does something for their self-esteem, for them to see that their parent is on a mission to make change, to do better in the world, to give back, and to help change the community, right? Especially us, right? When I say us, I'm talking about African Americans or people of African descent in this world today. We can't afford to not do this for our kids, for our future generations. It would be a travesty if we dropped the ball on this one as a parent, right? Put all the other crap aside in your life, right? And think about your future generations, the legacy that you want to leave behind, right? That's what's important. That's what's important, okay? So you got fifth graders learning how to repair air ducts, learning how to be an HVAC pro and all that. Some of these schools out here and some of these schools in the more affluent neighborhoods, the classes and the education, the curriculum that they're being exposed to is vastly different from what someone living in lower income areas are exposed to. You'd be surprised, okay? I'm talking about from computer programming to everything we're talking about right now, that they're being exposed to. I feel that all kids should be exposed to this. It shouldn't just be a, one part of town gets this and the other part of town doesn't. But unfortunately, we live in that society, right? But we can do our own small part. We can do our own small part in exposing our own kids and perhaps some kids in the community that we live in to these things. Because I'm sure you guys are tired of the stratification, right? Of the unfairness and the lack of equity in our education system. But instead of complaining about it, let's do something about it ourselves. But we have to educate ourselves first before we can educate our kids, right? We have to have that drive first. Where are we focused? What are we focused on? Are we just going to let our kids just flop in the wind and say, oh, no? No, we got to give them some direction. We got to give them direction, okay? We got to give them guidance. We got to give them discipline, all the things that are going to save them in the future. And it's like I said, it's not about forcing them to do this or do that, but you got to give them direction. You got to give them direction. How many of us wish we had more direction from our parents when we were younger? Well, let's not drop the ball on our own kids. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So, guys, I'm glad you came on in today. Came on in the chat and supported the message for today. I think it was very important that this get out. I'm gonna keep harping on this. This is one of the missions in my life personally, to expose kids to the trades, the opportunities to build your own communities. That's another thing, and I know I want to go off on a tangent on this one as well, but if you're able to build your own community and you're less dependent on, other communities, okay, that's what it's about anyway, right? If you want true freedom, you have to own something. You have to own your own community. And that's what really the deeper reason I want to really stress kids learning a trade, because they can do that once they know how to do it, right? If they feel that they're being oppressed, go build your own community. Go buy some land and build it yourself. You don't have to depend on anybody else to build it. And you can maintain it just yourself. How free was that? How free is that? I'm sorry. How free is that? Back in the days when African Americans were forced to segregate, they built their own communities. Now, of course, they got destroyed, and you know why they got destroyed. But the fact that they were forced to build their own communities meant that they had to have people in their community that knew how to do that, right? They couldn't depend on anybody else to build them for them because nobody else was really trying to have anything to do with them. So they had to build it themselves. I think that's a lost art, right? And it keeps disappearing into the sands of time. These skills, if we don't hand them down, if we don't hand them down, and it's time to build something for ourselves, then we're going to depend on other people to build it for us. And I think that's ridiculous, for you to be dependent on other communities to do for you. It's just sad. So that's one of the main reasons I push trade skills, right? Because it allows you that freedom. It allows you that freedom. Very Good Life Note says, I learned 2 skills from my dad, who was an electronic instructor, but my dad actually worked on everything. Yeah. How many of us wish we had a dad like Perigo's dad that worked on everything, that knew how to fix things, that knew how to, do all that stuff? Yeah, I had a dad like that myself. And I think back sometimes on why I do what I do now. It's because every time that he was in the back working on something, I was there underneath him, watching, learning, being a part of it, trying to help, whatever I could do to help. So I was exposed back then myself. And I think dads like that are very important. Is that just like mothers are very important, fathers are very important when it comes to exposing their kids to things like this. Okay. Fergalino said, I learned bookkeeping and automotive basic skills, carpentry basics. Man, you learned it all. So yeah, and it's funny because my father was an accountant as well, right? He was an accountant as well, but he was also good with his hands. He built stuff. He did masonry work, carpentry work, woodworking, and yeah, you know, all those things, all in one. She said, my nana taught me more domestic skills like sewing, cooking, and gardening. I think that's what you meant to say, right? Very good life notes. So you pretty much got it all, huh? Very good life notes. That's great. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. We need to expose our kids to all these things that we learn that are great skills to have, great life skills, skills that can feed you, skills that can make you money. Imagine knowing how to grow your own food. Imagine if we all knew how to do that. Imagine if we all had the land to grow our own food, right? So when you start to see the value of these skills, then you start to look at other things. What can I do with these skills? Oh, I need some land here. Then you start looking at real estate and all. It just branches off into so many things, right? It gets your mind working. Then you start figuring out how to acquire real estate and all this stuff, how to acquire land so you can be autonomous, so you can be self-sufficient. And that's what really I want to say is that self-sufficiency is the goal. Self-sufficiency is the goal here. Being able to take care of yourself, take care of your own communities. All right, guys. I think I rattled on enough tonight. I think you guys get the point. Anybody in the replay, hit the like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Yeah, hit that like and subscribe button, share, and all that good stuff. Go to calibrate.com, support the channel so you can get more messages like this. We got some great products there. Sign up for the email list, guys. Sign up for the email list so you can get some great tips and tricks on DIY and home improvement, okay? Topics. So appreciate you guys coming on in. Perry Girl Life Notes. Bruno, Claudette, appreciate you coming in. Slang, thanks for dropping by. Hope you got something out of it. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 7. Take care, guys. Have a good one.